With AI, people can pump out content like snap of a finger. Like if you're on LinkedIn at all, you see the AI generated comments. It's getting gross and ridiculous, y'all. It's getting exhausting. But that's where we are. And I think creating a space where the simplicity in your message connects with people on a like superhuman level and resonates with them, that's how you build those connections. So you can cut through that digital noise using some of these strategies. Welcome to Land the Talk. I am your host, Robin Nathaniel, and we are back with an extremely special episode. This is the season finale of year one of our show, and I am just pumped, hyped, excited, a little sad too, because we're not going to be dropping episodes every week like we have been doing for the last 26 weeks, I believe. I think we're up to our 26th episode, but this is the final episode. I will give you a little update. Last week when we were going to drop an episode, we actually were on vacation, me and my family, and it was just a lot, y'all. It was spring break with the kids. I was off work. I was going to do an episode on the road, and I was finally like, listen, next week is the season finale, so I'll just end with the season finale. And also, as you know, if you've been listening, I've been working behind the scenes on writing my first book. Been working on it for the last, well, actually ever since my TED Talk in June of 2024, but like actively pushing to get it done over the last few months. And I'm proud to say that the book is officially done. We have a release date. It's going to be released on May 6th, which is a Tuesday, I believe. May 6th, 2025, my first ever book. And it is actually, I have a physical copy right here in the midst with us today. I just got them in, some sample copies. So you will be the first to hear a little bit about Social Media Sync, a framework for intentional human connection in the AI era. My first book. This is wild, y'all. I'm super excited about just kind of talking to you a little bit about what the book is about and what the intentions are for the book and what I want to leave you with, if you have the opportunity to actually read it. I know there's a bunch of stuff in my head surrounding intentional human connection, social media, the rise of AI, and I just had to get it all out into one book. Now, I would say that I have the itch now as a writer. Like I'm super active on Substack these days. If you guys are not following us on Substack, please go over to landthetalk.com. Subscribe. It's absolutely free. If you want to be a paid subscriber, you can do that as well, but it is absolutely free. And during this hiatus from the show, we're going to be talking a lot about this book and some of the philosophies and just frameworks that I worked on with creating that. So what I want to do is something special today. What I want to do is really take a look at chapter 1, talk a little bit about the book, the process, and also, most importantly, I want to make sure you get some value out of it. So let's just jump right in. So when I set out to write the book, I was definitely thinking about my talk, and I was trying to find a way to really kind of incorporate it all. However, there were so many personal stories in my talk, in my TEDx talk, that I really couldn't find the pathway to create the content that I wanted to create without doing like an autobiography, right? I wasn't trying to write like a story about me, a story about my life. However, I did want to share some stories. So the way the framework of the book is kind of laid out, I go through, like concepts, philosophies, and approaches to social media with relation to this current era of AI. And then I share some stories from my life, from my experience working with certain clients. And at the end of every section or chapter, I try to give you some very clear, actionable tips, advice, strategies, and frameworks. So it was a really fun exercise because, as you guys probably know if you've been following the show at all, I'm really loving connecting and teaching. And that's something that I've always enjoyed doing. So I wanted to make sure I could leave you with some of these nuggets. So let's just kind of show you what we're doing here. So this is, let me get this queued up here. Actually, give me a second. This is actually a preview of the book. So what I'm doing is the book is available on May 6th. People can buy it on Amazon. I don't want you to buy it on Amazon. I'd rather you buy it from me directly. And if you want to buy it from me directly, all you have to do is visit socialmediasync.org and you can support directly. Amazon gives authors a very small percentage of the actual sales and royalties. I'm gonna go fully independent here, and this is a way for you to purchase the book directly from me. So if you go to socialmediasync.org, you can do that. It will be available on Amazon, however, on May 6th. It is available for people now who sign up for our free preview sample. So that's what I'm gonna kind of share with you. That's the thing. Is it over there? Over here, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about it and just kind of walk you through it. So I give you a little description of who I am. I don't want to go through that. What we're going to give you for free, I might add, and to get this, to get access to it so you can have it on your computer, on your device, you can read it yourself, all you have to do is visit landthetalk.com, sign up with your email, and then you'll get a reply with a link to get this in a Google folder. So book description is the first part. The introduction we're going to share with you as well as the sample chapter. So I also have a quote here from one of my guys. This is from Ramon Ray, who is a host on USA Today's network. He's also a master public speaker, an amazing brother, and he was nice enough to give me this quote about the book. He says, "Digital media, AI, and other technologies are never going away, nor should they. Social Media Sync helps today's connected professionals understand how to build better and more connected relationships with each other." That's from my man, Ramon Ray. So moving along, we give you the book description. I'm not going to go through that in detail, but I will share just a little bit with you. In a digital landscape dominated by shifting algorithms and artificial intelligence, how do you create authentic connections that transcend platforms and technology changes? Robin Nathaniel, social media strategist. We're not going to go on all of that. Anyway, you look at it, the big thing that I talk about a lot in the book is algorithm proof content and stuff that will work regardless of your platforms, regardless of the era or age that we're in. This is more of the book description. Now, the introduction. So this breaks down the book and what you'll. I kind of set the stage in this section. I'll just read a sentence or two. There's something powerful about a genuine human connection that no algorithm can replicate. In a world where our phones ding with notifications and our social media feeds, we scroll endlessly with content optimized by machines, staying authentically human has become both our greatest challenge and our most valuable asset. And when we talk about algorithm-proof content, it's really leaning into humanity. This is something that I've been on a hilltop about for the last few years. And don't get me wrong, when I first got into the social media game, if you will, when I kind of shifted from music and really leaned into social media marketing, I was doing social media the whole time, but really wasn't all the way locked in on digital marketing until I took a course by some of my mentors, Anno Domini and Legion Beats, when I was a music producer. And that kind of opened my eyes to a whole nother world. That's when I got introduced to Russell Brunson, eventually worked for Tyler New Media and my man Lamar Tyler over at Traffic Sales and Profit, and just learned a lot about the social media marketing game, but also digital marketing as a whole. And the concept of algorithm-proof content is the thing that folks are kind of not really embracing. People want to go platform to platform, trend to trend, and just kind of follow what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And go with the flow of what everyone else is doing. That's why when you look at your feed, you'll see the same kind of feeling. You'll see the same kind of subtitles, people using the same recycled hooks. It's just getting very tired. And in this book, what we really talk about is building those connections with people online where you can build true, valuable interactions. And whether that's on a professional level, a personal level, volunteer level, whatever it is, the people that you want to connect with, if you use the frameworks in this book, you will get to connect with them. But most importantly, you'll get to impact them as well as allow them to impact you in a positive way. In most cases, it does get ugly on social, but let's keep going. So after the introduction, we're going to go into the sample chapter. Now, this is what I really want to dig into a little bit, just to kind of give you, some insight onto where we're going with this. So if you decide to either grab this free preview, or if you decide to grab the book, you'll have some kind of baseline of what to expect. So the first chapter is called The Power of Simplicity in a Complex Digital World. So we talked a little bit about the notifications, your phone dinging. Like, I don't know about you, but this is something where I have to discipline myself to not be on the daggone phone all the time. Like, I work on social media, so I work social media for a full-time job for local government. I do it for my business. Like, I do it for my creative projects. So I don't want to be on that joint when I'm like in the bed or like I'm in the bathroom and like I want to cut free from it. But because I'm so connected, at times I have to discipline myself to do that. So many of us struggle with that. And some of the suggestions that I give in the book are things that I'm trying to work on myself. You know what I mean? It's not something that I'm perfect where like I got it all together. I'm going through this process as well and almost thinking out loud about it. So one thing that we're working on is trying to make sure that these bad boys are away from us at night, whether that's in the corner in the side of the room or even downstairs. Now, I have elderly parents, so it's really important for me. And I have kids, right? But when my kids are in the house, I'm good at night. I know they're safe. But I have elderly parents. My mom is about to be 90 in June. My dad is in his late 80s. So, I need to be accessible. But not having them by your bedside is a good look. And one thing that I really have been practicing is when you get up in the morning, before you check your phone, before you check an email, you just give gratitude. Whatever you believe in. If you are a Jesus follower like myself, or if you believe in another, you have another belief system, whatever it is, even if you don't have a belief system, let's say like you're an atheist, no problem. Just give gratitude for what you have. Give gratitude for the people you love. Be grateful as soon as you rise. And I promise you, that will be a hack for you to have not just a positive day, but also a productive day. I found that it's way more productive to just start with gratitude. I would also note in this book, there's no like me making stuff up. Like, yes, I'm being creative. Yes, I'm creating my own designs and frameworks. However, it's all backed by research. There's tons of research in the book. So like I went through, like used all the tools to get the information and also have supporting research to back it up. So it's me, yes, being creative, but these are concepts that have existed for years and years and years. Some new, some old, but at the end of the day, they all tie into what we're trying to preach to people, which is focus in on algorithm-proof content. The whole TikTok thing, when it was about to go and people were stressing, like, oh my God, people were like buying iPhones for $30,000 because it had the TikTok app on it. What part of the game is that? Like, where are we? Where do we live where people are doing that? Come on, man. We got to do better. We got to be better. Okay, so that is the actual chapter. But each chapter has a series of little subchapters, little subsections. So this one is called The Age of Digital Overwhelm. I'll just share a sentence with you. Research from the University of California found that the average worker is interrupted every 3 minutes and 5 seconds. What's worse, it takes an average of 23 minutes to get back to the task after each interruption. Do the math. We're operating at a deficit all day, every day. Now, this is huge. Like, understanding the fact that for us to get into that flow state, for us to really start flowing with our work, we need time. You know what I'm saying? We need time. Like for me, like sometimes when I'm at work or whether I'm here at home, I let the people around me know, like, hey, listen, I'm about to go into a deep work block. If it's an emergency, reach out to me. If not, if you guys can give me a little space. And I lock in. But you need those 23 minutes, according to research here, right, to even get into your flow. So it's really important that the age of digital overwhelm is addressed in this process of trying to create this algorithm-proof content. Now, simplicity is a huge part of the sync method, but one of our subsections here, we talk about simple doesn't mean easy, right? So I think sometimes when people hear simple almost has a negative connotation sometimes with folks. Like they look at it like, oh, you simple, that's easy. It's hard to craft a message that is simple enough for people to understand, but also profound enough to impact them. And that's the hack, to like really find that balance. And I think that many struggle with that. And that's something that we work on throughout this book. So we also talk about the psychological power of simplicity, which is super powerful. And at the end here of the book, or of the ebook, I should say, we talk about the simplicity advantage and how it's an advantage for you in this age, especially because of all the noise, right? With AI, people can pump out content like snap of a finger. Like if you're on LinkedIn at all, you see the AI generated comments. It's getting gross and ridiculous, y'all. It's getting exhausting. But that's where we are. And I think creating a space where the simplicity in your message connects with people on a like superhuman level and resonates with them, that's how you build those connections. So you can cut through that digital noise using some of these strategies. And then here, when we close up, we give you a link so you can actually download the full framework, which is the sync method. Simple, yield to your intentions, natural, and change it up. Now, next steps. What I'd like for you to do is put this into practice for, let's say, 90 days. We're going to take a hiatus from the show, and we're going to be back in the fall. But what I want to do is I want to check in with you when we get back to see if you actually put some of this into practice. And I want to make sure you get access to the ebook, the sample of this ebook that we created for you, which is a sample of the full book. So make sure, if you can, right now, go to landthetalk.com. You can get this absolutely free. And when you do that, you'll also have the opportunity to purchase the book early if you want to. If you're watching this before May 6th, you can actually buy it early. Now, before we get out of here, I just want to thank all of the guests that we've had for season 1. I also want to let you know that we will be creating content on Substack while we're on the podcast hiatus. So there will be content coming out. I'll be writing weekly articles related to the frameworks in this book, and also frameworks that I come up with based on the research that I'm doing right now while I'm in this mode. I'll also note that because of the book and because of the way things are going, you might see some changes in the show. So we have been doing interviews with some one-off solos. I'm not sure what it's going to look like next season, but I know that I want to make sure that we stay connected. So the best way to get in contact with me is to sign up for our newsletter. All you have to do is go to landthetalk.com. It is hosted on Substack. Again, it is absolutely free, but if you want to support, you can become a paid subscriber. So until we meet again in a few months, I'm Robin Nathaniel, your host. Talk to you soon.